Hey, I'm Jason Creel. I'm here with my friend Eddie, and I want to talk about commercial push mowers, and two of the most popular ones out there. On my left is a Toro Proline, and on my right, or in front of me, is the Kawasaki 21-inch push mower. Now, Eddie lets me work with him occasionally, and he's kind enough on the really hot days when the big yard with hills on it to let me push these. But I don't get to push him as much as he does, so that's why I've got him here to, basically to talk about these mowers, what the differences are. Obviously, there's a huge difference in these mowers versus, your typical residential model push mower, and a lot of it's just the quality of the parts, where these are built to last, and not nearly as many plastic parts. But if you're in the market for a commercial push mower, then these are going to be two that you probably want to consider. And so Eddie's explained to me that there are quite a number of differences in the two, and so depending on how you're going to be using it, there may be one that would better suit you. So Eddie, what would you say are some of the primary differences between the Toro and the Kawasaki? Eddie, what would you say would be some of the main differences between the Toro and the Exmark? We've already talked about that the engines are identical on them. They both have a Kawasaki commercial engine on them, but other than the engine, what are some of the areas that you see differences?
Well, first I would say that the Exmark lawnmower here is more of a light commercial compared to the Toro, which is a heavy commercial lawnmower. This lawnmower is a lot lighter, and it's a lot easier to push and maneuver. It would be something easy for a young teenager to use, as well as the bagging system on them and the mulching kits. This mulching kit chute here, door, comes off quite a bit. It's not built very well. I hear there's a replacement for that that's much better quality. As far as the Proline here, the Toro, this one is a little bit harder to maneuver. You got to pull up on this, and you got to pull the bag off every time, and sometimes it does get stuck. But I would say this is better quality, but that one's easier to maneuver. As far as the wheels are concerned, the Exmark has kind of a neat system here. You simply lift this tab on the back and you pull up or you push down to adjust the back tires. This one has the tabs that you go up and down with, which are a little bit harder. The front ones you just pull up on these tabs in the front and you pull your wheel off to adjust them. So this one's a lot easier as far as function to operate than this one, but this one to me is more commercial and better quality. Okay.
And when you say on the Toro, it has tabs, but it's not, like I said, it's not tabs like on a homeowner grade push mower that are super flimsy. So it's not that they're going to break. It's but I like how the Exmark has its slots in the wheels, kind of like some commercial zero-turn mowers have slots to adjust the deck height. It's similar setup. You put the wheel in the slot based on the height that you're looking for. And I can confirm that, yeah, that was, while that bag stays on better, it is sometimes aggravating to get on and off there. So and don't get confused. I think the bag wore out, so he put an Exmark bag on the Toro mower, but this is the Toro, this is the Exmark. So if you, Eddie, were gonna buy one, or let's just say you didn't have both, which one would you go buy, or recommend that people buy just for if you only had one mower?
I would prefer the Toro Commercial Proline over the Exmark, just because of the problems I've had with the mulching kit and the door coming off on a regular basis. It wastes a lot of my time repairing it. So,
would you say there's a difference in the quality of the cut that, does one cut better?
I would say that the Proline cuts more even, and it cuts a little bit better cut than the Exmark.
This, I know this has an Exmark bag on it, but was the old Toro bag, was it? It looks like this one has a larger bag on it. Was the old bag bigger too, or did it just?
It's got a bigger bag overall, and I believe Exmark now makes Toro, so they interchange the parts. So.
Okay, well maybe you know, anyway, if you happen to empty, maybe something to consider if you're emptying the bag. If you know you're going to be bagging a lot, you may want one that has a larger bag on it.
Let me say this: this lawnmower also will mulch a whole lot better than this lawnmower as far as the not only the bagging capacity, but you can do a whole lot more yard with this one and not change compared to that one. That one seems to leave more. The Exmark seems to leave more clippings on the ground at times, maybe because the bag's smaller, but this does seem to bag better, and you can put a whole lot more in it seems than that one.
And Eddie did tell me these mowers are several years old, and so you know the later models perhaps they've made some improvements. So you may, you know, when you go to a dealer, maybe you can find a dealer that carries both models, and you kind of compare them side by side and figure out, you know, what the newer models, if they've improved on some of the, you know, some of the things we've talked about. So anyway, like I said, if you want a commercial grade push mower, obviously you're gonna cost a little bit more. They're built to last, and if you're having to push, a lot of yards have just thick, wet grass. I mean, sometimes honestly a residential model just doesn't have the power. So if you're gonna be using a push mower a lot, and maybe you don't want to get a 36-inch walk behind, or even sometimes that may not fit through some gates and you have to go with a 21-inch, then you know these are the types that you need to be looking at as far as durability and last and the quality of cut. So anyway, hope that helps. Thanks. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you're in the lawn care business or thinking about starting a lawn care business, click the subscribe button below to stay tuned to all the latest videos.